Guys, it's me, Shaw360, and I should be asleep, but I am doing the review for episode 3 and 4 of Descendants of the Sun. And I'm doing it because I promised you guys I would do the video on Tuesday, and technically it still is Tuesday in the United States, just not where I'm at. But this couple of episodes really moved the story forward. I mean, I was entertained by episodes 1 and 2, but episodes 3 and 4 really did a lot to make me care for the characters, especially Wolf. Oh my gosh, Sheriff Wolf. I just he's my one. Second lead syndrome is so strong. He is the one. But yeah, I really enjoyed these episodes because there was a lot of tension that was added to the story that wasn't like made up tension. It was from like some real legitimate situations where it was dicey all the way around, and I really appreciate that. And just so you guys know, whenever I do my reviews, plenty of spoilers, so if you're not looking for those, turn this off, come back to it after you've watched episode 3 and 4. But there were a couple of things I needed to iron out before I was able to fully enjoy these episodes. Number one, I needed to figure out where the hell Urk was supposed to be, and I still really don't know. I know that they filmed in Greece, but there's an Arab president at one point, and then I think there's like Russian type of people because one of the girls is mentioned as being a Korean Russian girl. But I don't know. I don't know where we're supposed to be. I cannot figure out like where on a world map this fictional country is supposed to be. But either way it goes, it just is one of those things that kind of bugged me. Also, the use of cell phones, I'm like, they're on this military base in the middle of what seems like might be a war-torn country. I'm surprised how good everyone's cell phone coverage is in this place, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let's go back to the story. So in the story, the medical group has arrived, and things are kind of tense between Dr. Kong and Big Boss. But things start to ease up with a little interaction having to do with a fake landmine. Needless to say, Big Boss, he deserved the reaction he got from Dr. Kong. So Dr. Kong goes into this area. Big Boss is kind of being a jerk about things. She goes to walk away from him. She steps on something that clicks, and he tells her she has stepped on a live landmine. So, of course, she's scared to death, doesn't want to be blown to bits. She's like, don't worry, I'll rescue you. I'll come over to you, and I'll put my foot on the mine, and you go get help. And, of course, she's like, no, I can't let you do that. And, you know, trying to be concerned, and also she's still scared. Either way it goes, they end up kind of tussling a little bit, and they both fall over. And, of course, I'm sure she's thinking, well, this is it. You know, my legs are going to get blown off or I'm going to die. No, he was joking. I mean, I know he thought it was cute, but that's not funny. I thought I was going to die. My heart is doing this number. I was ready to, like, you know, say my prayers. So anyway, she's mad with him, but he kind of apologizes. Well, he does apologize. And then while the Korean anthem is playing and the flag is being raised, everybody kind of does their salute / pledge, and they seem to be on okay grounds, but she hasn't forgot about it. So when the medical team first opens the clinic the next day, all the soldiers are lined up, and she pulls him out the crowd and like, why don't you go ahead and give this blood? And of course, at first he's acting like, you know, I don't want to do this, you know, I'm uncomfortable. So she thinks she has him, that she can tease him about this. But then he jabs a fucking needle in his own arm. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? But he did it because I guess, you know, he's not afraid of anything. He's a superhero. So that happens. And then afterwards, we find out that the team, remember last time we found the team had been reassigned to Urk to keep Wolf away from Lieutenant Yoon. Well, Lieutenant Yoon's dad finds out that Lieutenant Yoon is going to get herself transferred to Urk because she wants to be with her man. Well, Daddy's not having that, and Daddy's like a 3-star general. So then he transfers Wolf out of the Urk team and is going to send him back to Korea just in time for his daughter to arrive in Urk, which, that is so annoying. That really irks me. Get it? It's a pun. But yeah, but the daughter tells him, you know, listen, you keep on doing shit like this and you're going to find yourself without a daughter because I love this man. He loves me. You can't keep hiding him from me. The thing is, though, in a flashback, the dad has kind of always been, you know, hey, you need to stay away from my daughter. I have a better man picked out for you. The better man being Big Boss. That's who Daddy wants her to get with. But there's no romantic ties there. But the thing is, like, Wolf, I feel like, is torn. On the one hand, I feel like he really cares about Lieutenant Yoon. But on the other hand, I think the military means a lot to him. You know, in the first couple of episodes, he made mention that before he joined the military, he was kind of a gangster, a little bit. And that the military helped him to change his life. And when you see his interactions with all of the different people that are in his unit and his other soldiers, you can tell this whole thing means a lot to him. If there's not a better example, when he gets sent back to Korea, he makes a phone call. And the phone call, no, it's at the airport. At the airport, he makes a phone call to check on the other members of his unit. And Key, our little motorcycle man, he is crying on the phone, like, why would you leave me, Sarge? I don't want you to leave. And he's like, kid, don't worry about it. You know I'd never leave you if I didn't have to. Be sure to study for your GED. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a good, honest, hardworking, honorable guy. And it sucks that Lieutenant Yoon's dad doesn't see what a really great guy his daughter's going to get. I mean, I know that if I was a parent and that was the type of guy that wanted to date my daughter, I'd be like, hell yeah, welcome to the family, son. Because he's just upstanding and just really a great guy. But I'm so digressing. I'm so digressing. Anyway, it goes. So yeah, he's been reassigned to go back to Korea, and it sucks because we all love him and we don't want him to go anywhere. So the medical team is trying to get used to being in Urk, and Onu, you gotta love him. Onu is such a fucking brat. Like, first of all, he's clumsy, which is kind of the stereotype for Onu anyway. But then they're like eating a big bowl of, I think, kimchi rice maybe, or kimchi fried rice with an egg on it. And him being the jerk, of course, he's got to eat the first spoonful. And then he tries to take like all of the fried egg that's on top. And then when everybody else starts to dig in with their spoons, he's like, this is unhygienic. Well, this kid comes out of the woods because earlier there were some kids that were eating out of like a trash pile, and Dr. Kong had given them some candy so that they wouldn't eat like the trash. But one of the kids that was supposed to come to the base to get something to eat, he didn't show up until nighttime, and he touched Onu. And Onu, because he's a snotty little brat, he's like, oh my gosh, you got my shirt dirty. You can't be doing that. Well, the kid's like, I'm hungry. Can you help me? And Onu, of course, doesn't speak their language, and the kid passes out on the ground vomiting. Turns out the kid has lead poisoning because the kids are eating in this dump, and the dump is contaminated with lead, and the kids are eating and ingesting this lead. So because they're malnourished, their body is absorbing the lead faster, and it poisoned this little kid. So, I mean, it's a good thing he ran into Onu, but yeah, at first Onu was not having it because he's just, I don't know, Onu is a baby, a big old bratty baby. But that happens, and along with this kid being in the medical cube, all of a sudden there's all these alarm flares and stuff because the president of, I guess, the nation that they're at, or one of the Arab presidents of the area that they're at, he is being VIP'd to their facility for emergency medical care. And at the end of episode 3, we have a standoff between the bodyguards of this president and the soldiers from Big Boss's unit because the bodyguards don't want Dr. Kong and her team to operate on the president, even though it's apparently obvious that he is suffering from an immediate medical emergency and needs help instantly. And the thing is, with Dr. Kong, she's like, I can't let this patient die. And in the amount of time it would take for the Arab doctors to come, he certainly would. But at the same time, if you operate on this man and he was to die, that could be a death sentence for everybody in that area right there. Like, you all could be, subject to military sanctions. A war could break out. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But yeah, Big Boss, he sees the situation, and the commanding officers are telling him, even all the way from the presidency down, they're like, don't touch him, don't touch him. Well, Big Boss sees the situation, and he asks Dr. Kong, can you save this man? And Dr. Kong says, yeah, I can. Even though she doesn't really have much faith in herself, she says she can. And this is coming after a confrontation between Dr. Kong and Big Boss, where Big Boss kind of accused her of being a TV doctor. Because she had been kind of dropping hints here and there that, she was going to open her own clinic and she's a VIP doctor now. And, she is, about to really just do it big. And he's kind of like, that's cool, but what happened to the girl who like really loved being in surgery and was all about saving patients and their lives, and now you're worried about how much money you're gonna make and stuff like that? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, they just had this kind of confrontation about how much she's changed as a person and her medical philosophy since they were last together. And he puts all that aside to ask her, can you take care of this man? Can you be the doctor I need you to be? And she lets him know, I can. So they have like a standoff between the bodyguards of the president and the special forces unit while she is operating practically at gunpoint on this VIP. And it doesn't help that she doesn't know his medical history because it's considered, a state secret. So she's having to kind of go in here almost blind, like just basically her own medical knowledge and sight. But she manages to save the president. He doesn't die, thank goodness, and he goes back to wherever he came from. But not everybody's unwounded. Big Boss is relieved of command during the operation, locked up. And then after the operation is over, he is punished. And he's punished with 3 months of no paycheck. And he loses the ability to be promoted the next time the promotion cycle comes around. Which kind of sucks because he's a career military guy. He's not a guy who just ended up in the military to do his 2-year conscription and then leave. Like, he is a career military guy. So this really hurts him in terms of professional development. But at the same time, he did what he thought was right. And because he's an honorable person, he's willing to take his punishment because that's what needed to happen in order to get the result that they got. Unfortunately, Dr. Kong, because she didn't know the ways of the military, number one, she didn't realize how much trouble Big Boss got into behind this whole situation. And then she thinks she can go in there and kind of, argue his way out of punishment by saying, well, everything turned out okay, guys. So, what's the big deal? And, I'm the one who told him to do it. It doesn't work like that, honey. It just doesn't work like that. And that's another source of kind of difficulty between the two, is that she doesn't understand that this military thing is very different from the civilian thing. In fact, there's another example of that. After the Arab president flies back home, he thanks Dr. Kong and Big Boss at his palace, I guess, for saving him, and he gives them these immunity cards. And I only bring it up because this might be something that happens later on that we have to address. But anyway, he gives them these immunity cards, and of course Big Boss uses his immunity card to rent a car so that they can go on a date. Well, when they go on this date, Dr. Kong is talking about how she's going to make all this money being a doctor in Gangnam, and that's why she became a doctor, is to make money. And he's like, why are you lying? But anyway, he gets called away from their date to attend a funeral of a soldier. And when they get back to base after this funeral, she asks him, does this mean that you could? And he's like, yeah, that is exactly right. And it's something that needed to be confronted. I mean, they're having a lot of hard conversations, the couple is, but these are hard conversations that any couple should have. Like, no matter what your relationship is with your significant other, whether you're a doctor and they're a soldier, or you both are chefs, or, one of you is Jewish and one of you is Christian, these difficult conversations have to happen in order to be able to move forward. Because the problem is, when people avoid having these difficult conversations, when something big comes up and you haven't talked about it, it's hard to survive. But if you can have these difficult conversations and work your way through these issues, then later on you'll have a base to work from, an informed base to work on, and then you can keep on going from there. And that's important. And I'm glad that they're kind of knocking this all out, because it makes it all the sweeter when they kind of reconcile with each other, and the episode 4 ends with a big old smooch. Yeah. But I know I skipped a lot of stuff in the episodes too that I need to talk about. I need to talk about the UN workers. So there was a car accident when the medical team first got on site and they had opened the clinic, and the car accident involved a UN aid truck. But when they got to the site, it turns out it wasn't a UN aid truck. It was actually some weapons smugglers, and they were disguised as UN aid workers, but they were not. They were actually guns. Well, the Korean Army guys turned these smugglers over to the local police force. Turns out the local police force is working with, the gun smugglers, and the head boss of the gun smuggler, he was being kind of upbraided by the local police chief, and he shoots him dead. Well, turns out that the head boss of the gun smugglers used to be a soldier, and in fact used to be kind of close to Big Boss. There's a picture of them together at the funeral service for the soldiers that Big Boss went to with Dr. Kong. So that was quite the revelation. Didn't expect all that. And then, of course, there was a really sentimental moment between Lieutenant Yoon and Wolf. They met at the airport. She's coming, he's going, and she's just like, tell me that, this is a part of us trying to get back together. Tell me what to do. And all he says is watch out for mosquitoes, which telling people to like beware of mosquitoes seems to be a really romantic move in Irk, because Dr. Kong gives Big Boss a mosquito coil, and then Wolf is telling Lieutenant Yoon to watch out for mosquitoes. So apparently the mosquito thing, that's a big deal in this country. But anyway, he tells her to watch out for mosquitoes, and as he's going, he wraps her in a hug, and she's kind of like, why are you doing this? When we were at the hospital in episode 1 and 2, you told me you were letting me go, but then you hugged me. I don't know what to think about this. Like, you are telling me it's over, but then you do things that let me know that you care. I need you to either let me go or let me have you. You got to do something. And she's just this raw bundle of emotion. And I get it, because she's told her dad, I'll leave the family for this man. But then he's really not feeding her with any clear signals. And that's really the only thing to dislike about Wolf, is the fact that when it comes to this relationship with this woman, when it comes to relationship with women in general, he's soft-hearted, but at the same time, he has to have a cold veneer to save himself, and that's difficult. It's difficult, especially when you see how warm he is with the other characters in his unit, and then how cold he has to be with these various women that we know that he has ties to. It's just like he can't be himself with them. But we see how he is with other people that he trusts and he cares about. And you just know, like, if you could just be open like that, things could be okay. And it was really cute seeing the flashbacks of all the dates that are fake dates that him and Lieutenant Yoon had taken in the past. They were very Nora Ephron-ish, very like Sleepless in Seattle kind of shooting scenes for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed everything about these 2 episodes. I loved them a lot, and I have to say, I was really glad we got some of that political tension type of thing, because we had that at the very beginning of episode 1, and it seemed like it kind of wore away. It became more kind of, I won't say soap opera-ish, but more like, romantic tension, stuff like that. And then finally bringing it back to, this political stuff in episodes 3 and 4, it brings home the fact that, they're not just on some vacation spot, hanging out, giving out chickenpox vaccines. They're in a war zone. They're in a hazardous place, and anything could happen, whether it be, disease, illness, war breaking out, like there's a lot of things to be worried about in this environment. And it more drives home just what a shithead the chairman of the Haesung group was, for him to put her out there, knowing how dangerous this place is. And it also kind of makes me mad at Onu, because here you are, a father, but because you're a brat, you're like, I'm just going to go to camp. How much fun is this going to be? And you're in a place where people get shot. This is not camp. This is really dangerous. What if you don't come home? What's going to happen to your baby? Even though it was kind of cute to watch Onu dance to JYP's Who's Your Mama. That was kind of cute. Of course, he would break out and dance. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like to see where everything's going to go. The secondary characters right now are kind of interesting. I would like to know more about some of the other people in the unit. I want to know more about Piccolo and Harry Potter. Those are some code names there. The Lieutenant Colonel Colonel Kwok, I think is his name. The one that really yelled at Big Boss for like putting both of their promotions on the line behind the stunt. I want to see something terrible happen to him because he's an asshole and I don't like him. And I want to see Lieutenant Yoon's dad just like lay off. Quit being such a jerk about all this. This is a good man. Your daughter's in great hands. You couldn't have picked a better man for her. So, be cool. Be cool. Open your eyes. Either way it goes. Like I'm saying, just, But anyway, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them down below. I always love reading your comments. The longer the better. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing episodes 5 and 6. And then by this weekend, I should be caught up. So I'm really excited about that. Because I don't know how many more of these long nights I can pull. But I'm watching this right now. I'm also watching Rain's drama Comeback Mister kind of on my own time. I'm not doing reviews for that. And I picked up a web series that I want to start watching because I saw like the very first episode and I totally fell in love. It's a web series called Imaginary Cat. Already it sounds like magic, doesn't it? It's about this guy who's a webtoon writer that owns a cat, and the cat talks, like doesn't like talk, but basically you can hear the cat's thought, and it's this big old fat orange cat with a little smushy face. I'm so in love. I'm not a big cat person, and I've always said if I was going to buy a cat, I was going to buy a hairless cat, and I was going to get him a little heating pad, and I was going to make him wear sweaters, and it was going to be adorable. But this cat just looks so freaking big and fluffy. I want one so bad. But anyway, those are things I'm watching, and I'll be back with my reviews for episodes 5 and 6 the next time you see me. Well, actually, I might do a video in between there. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.